My jarred pepper pasta uses just a few simple ingredients to create a brilliant time-saving midweek meal, and you wouldn't believe how easy it is to knock together. So, big pan of water, season it with salt. We're gonna go in with some pasta. I'm using penne today. So in with the pasta. Lid back on top, just for a minute so it comes back up to the boil. We're gonna make a beautiful herb oil. So look, I wanna make a dish that's super fast, but also super elegant. Like, just because something's fast and simple doesn't mean it can't be incredible. So, we have parsley. Just grab it, rip off the top, okay? It could be basil, it could be mint, it could be any other fresh green herb. I'm gonna take this over to the liquidizer. I'll throw that in with, a nice couple of lugs of oil, and I can make a flavored oil, and you can use that throughout the week. So you want just enough oil so you can whiz it all up, lid on top, full whack. Now, in no time at all, you've got this incredible, vibrant, green oil. When you put that through a beautiful soup, stew, make a salad dressing out of it, put it over pasta, it is a truly, truly joyful thing. And you can keep that in the fridge, and it's just a nice little cheat to make food more interesting, more exciting. So in this same blender, I'm gonna go straight in with some beautiful peppers. These are roasted peppers. You get them in jars, shake it in, juice and all. These have been roasted, grilled, peeled, and de-seeded, and they will give you that glorious sunshine that you get from ripe peppers. So in there as well, I'm gonna go in with a nice big handful of almonds. And I'm not gonna roast or toast them. I want them to be raw and creamy and give you that silkiness, almost like you put double cream in the sauce, and it's gonna stick to the pasta in the most beautiful way. So in with a handful of that, then a little bit of heat. So some flaked dry chili here. Just go in with whatever you feel. So I want a nice hum in the background. It works really well with the sweetness of the peppers, but you don't have to go OTT. And then a little slug of extra virgin olive oil. Not much, don't need much. And a light seasoning of salt and a big seasoning of pepper. And then just a little thimble of red wine vinegar. Last ingredient to go in is cottage cheese. Now, it's not Italian, but you know what? It's an ingredient that you do find easily in the supermarket. So I'm going to use a couple of tablespoons in there just to give it a nice tangy freshness and creaminess. Back it goes. We'll wazz it up. It does do the most incredible job, because what you have in here, to me, is sunshine and joy. It just tastes of barbecue, holidays. And imagine making that on a miserable day when you want something that just makes you feel good. So summer or winter, happy or sad, this is a cracking dish that honestly will serve you and your family really well. So gas off. We'll drain this pasta over here. Once it's drained, we'll go back into the pan with the pasta, and we'll use that residual heat to add in our amazing sauce. Look at that color. Shake in that sauce. You can add just a little Parmesan for some light seasoning. Just fold it in. Pour it in the middle, and then just take that plate and give it a little shake. And once you've done that, take that beautiful parsley oil, which could be basil oil or mint oil or whatever oil you want, and just do little bombs of it. Think sort of Jackson Pollock, bosh. Then back to the beautiful cottage cheese. So you don't need much. When this hits the heat of the pasta, it will start to kind of melt in a beautiful way. The smell is insane. And there, my friends, is a joyful, exciting pasta dish made out of simple ingredients you can grab and do in the time it takes to cook some penne. We're gonna make the most delicious mushroom pasta with garlic, spinach, mushrooms, a rich sauce. We've got a crunchy thyme and garlic breadcrumb topping. It's just joy, joy, joy. Let's get cooking. Put the pan on a medium-high heat and a pot of boiling water. First job, garlic breadcrumbs. Finely slice 2 cloves of garlic. This is my wife's favorite bit. So what she loves and what I love about this is the crunch of the breadcrumbs with the soft, delicate pasta. It's a really beautiful combo. We're gonna go in here with some olive oil. Go in with the garlic, get that sizzling. So the next ingredient, thyme. Fresh thyme is joyful. A few nice little stalks. Just pull the lovely little leaves off the stalk. They normally pop and spit a little bit, but the flavor from thyme is amazing, especially with mushrooms. Listen to that. And then in with the breadcrumbs, and we can turn that temperature right down. Just toast off these breadcrumbs. And this will make the most amazing little sprinkle for any pasta, any ravioli, even soups. Gorgeous on salads. So once it's gorgeous and crispy, put it in our little bowl, and this people will fight over. Pan back on the heat. I've got 2 packs of mushrooms, but you really could use oysters, button mushrooms, anything you like. So 4 cloves of garlic and mushrooms, classic flavor. Back in the pan, we're gonna go in with some olive oil, in with the garlic, that will perfume the oil. Then I'll take the other half of that thyme and pick in the lovely leaves there. Nice generous pinch of black pepper as well. We'll go in with the mushrooms. Now that looks like a lot of mushrooms, but if you give that about 10 minutes of cooking, stirring nice and regularly, that is gonna half in size, it's gonna intensify and double in flavor, and that's gonna be amazing. So we'll let that cook out, then I'll show you what to do next. So if you look at the mushrooms now, the water's starting to cook away, and it will go now from boiling to frying. Can you hear it? And you can see it's dried up. It smells amazing. Right, let's have a little taste. Amazing. So normally at this stage, I put in a little cream or creme fraiche, and that's definitely very traditional, but I got told about a little tip that is just naughty, and it's basically a tin of mushroom soup. And it basically means you get double mushroom flavor. So put all of it in, nice little tin of quality mushroom soup. Fill this tin up with a little bit of water, and then like half a tin, a whole tin, depending on how thick the soup is. Just put that in there and let that simmer away. You get this silky old school sauce. You've got extra seasoning in there. You're down on the saturated fats and up on the veg. So it's a nice little trick. Mix that up, let that simmer. The water here is now boiling. We'll just put a little salt in there. And we're gonna go in with 300 grams of your chosen pasta. Look, you could use whatever you like. I'm going in with tagliatelle. Lid on until the water comes up to the boil again. The pasta sauce is already looking good. So we've got an ingredient to go in there, spinach. I'm using the frozen spinach because it's super convenient. You get that really nice kind of dense, dark spinach. Nutrition through the roof. Just gonna put 2 little cubes like that in. That's about 100 grams. And that will just defrost and cook into it. Those pops of green, amazing. What I like to do now, you don't have to do this. Some people take pasta and put it in a colander. The water goes down the drain, and it's the water that helps the sauce be silky. What I like to do is use some little tongs and drag the pasta and some of that water along with it. Now, what's nice about that is we're just gonna get the most incredible textures. And then a little bit of Parmesan. So you just need a little bit for seasoning. And having fresh Parmesan makes all the difference. Just toss it like this. Can you see how elegant this is? The smell is incredible. And that's the beauty of cooking, right? You can take the cheapest mushrooms and make them joyful. Oh, look at that, look at the way it comes out. Silky, that little hack with the tinned soup is naughty, but nice. With a little of those breadcrumbs on the top. Come on. A long stroke of Parmesan, and then let's portion up a little bit. I mean, look at that. How elegant is that? Come on, that's a dish right there. Look at that. Right, let's try some. Oh, ho, ho, ho. My missus doesn't like mushrooms, but I put it in quite a lot of the cooking that she says she loves. So don't be a hater, be a lover, or just put it in and don't tell them. Oh, that is bonkers. Enjoy. Right, we're gonna make a super quick Cheats homemade pizza. It's not supposed to be the best artisan pizza in the world, but it is delicious and gorgeous. We can start it and cook it in under 10 minutes, so let's get on with it. And I've got 2 helpers here that are flicking me. And this could be a nightmare, guys. This could be a nightmare, but this is Petal, my 3rd daughter, and this is Buddy, my 4th daughter, who, she's lovely.
I'm not a daughter and a boy.
Sorry, I forgot. First up, we're gonna have 1.5 cups of self-raising flour.
I'm doing it.
Try not to have an argument. I did ask her to roll her sleeves up. Apparently that's not very fashion forward. It doesn't matter if your mug is bigger or smaller, it's all relative. Then we put half a mug of water. A pinch of salt. And I just want a tablespoon of oil, Petal. So wazz it up. 30 seconds, 1 minute. And as soon as it starts to clean the bowl, that's good. Not too much flour. Right. So look, here's our dough. And you want it to be sort of stretchy and elastic like this, which is nice. So I'm just going to divide this into 2. What I want them to do is roll out their base into a kind of circle. I've got a non-stick large pan, okay? It's cold. So I put that on a high heat. I'm going to turn on the grill. Every now and again, you can make a big batch of hidden veg tomato sauce, and it's great on pizza. It means you're getting lots of the good stuff in them. Click the link, and Kerry Ann is going to smash out the recipe, and you will love it. Buds, I'm going to take yours. Now I can just drop this into the pan. We're going to put the tomato sauce, 7 veg, on the pizza base. I'm just going to back spoon that. Buds, what do you want on your pizza, dude? Mozzarella? You like mozzarella?
I want some salami.
Okay. Now, one of the things about pizza is restraint. Don't overload it. Do you want some Parmesan?
And I want some of this.
What's that?
And Petal's finished. I want this.
It's quite nice letting the Parmesan
Dad?
go around the edge.
Dad, I want this.
What's that, mate?
This. I don't know what it's called.
Oh, prosciutto. There's me talking about restraint. He's making me... Okay.
I want it everywhere.
Okay, well, I'm trying to tell people about restraint, buddy, and you say you want it everywhere. Basil, oregano?
Basil and oregano.
Oh, fair enough. Amazing flavour. Really, really nice. And that'll go straight now, under the grill, all right? 2 more minutes, done. Petal, this is a slightly thicker pizza, okay? We're gonna go into the pan. These little finger marks in here are gonna trap the sauce. So go a little bit more generous on the sauce.
Dad, I need a toilet.
Oh, God. Okay. That boy is the death of me. He will go to the toilet anywhere. Anywhere. There's not a place. If I introduced him to the Queen, he'd go, just a minute, ma'am, and he'd just take a slash anywhere. Anywhere. There's nowhere he hasn't been to the toilet. Dude, that is my life right there. He just sprinkle where he wants to. And also, he thinks, etiquette would say that I cut that out. I'm leaving that in for all the parents out there, because you parents are all going, yeah, I've got one of those too. You all right, mate? Wash your hands. Anyway, so Buddies will now come out. It's taken no time at all. It looks gorgeous. It's crispy skinned, straight on to the board. And then this next one here, this goes straight under. They love balsamic. You can put some fresh basil over the top. Of course, the purist pizza makers are going to take this apart.
Purist.
But when you've got kids, you got to feed them. And you want to give them stuff that they want. And of course, pizza's a treat. But actually, if you trade up from white flour to whole grain flour, you're getting closer to a really healthy pizza. If you do a 7 veg tomato sauce, you're getting towards a healthy pizza. If you restrain the cheese, you're getting a really lovely thing. Who wants some pizza?
Me.
Gorgeous.
Me.
You made it. You know what went into it.
You made it.
Okay, you made it. You made it. Let it cool down.
Ooh la la. I've got a bigger one than mine.
Hey guys, hope you're well. So I'm going to show you a really nice, easy dish that's delicious. It's a tray-baked chicken dish that we're going to have with tortillas and salad and a little bit of corn in there. It's going to be delicious. It's a family favorite dish, which all happens in one tray. So what we're gonna do is kind of have a welcoming party of flavor. How are we gonna do it? We're gonna have a little bit of olive oil in there, and then about the same of red wine vinegar, and then we'll kiss it with a little bit of salt and pepper, and then we've got the flavor that I love. About a teaspoon of smoked paprika goes in. That is what's gonna flavor this dish. Put the tray forward. We're gonna go in with 2 peeled onions that I'm just gonna quarter. And see these little petals like that? Just pull them off and they'll just be beautiful by the time the chicken's cooked. And then we've got the chicken. Now, chicken thighs are just a brilliant cut of meat. They're so juicy and tender. So I'm gonna put the chicken in here like that. And then I'm gonna use my hands, just give it a nice little massage up, place the chicken on top of the onions, and when they cook together, it's gonna be the most beautiful harmonies. And then last but not least in this tray, cherry tomatoes, okay? I'm gonna put a pack of these cherry tomatoes in. That's basically 250 grams. And imagine all of this cooking, right? It goes in the oven. I'm just gonna wash my hands. Okay, I'm gonna put this straight in the oven, and we'll cook it for 45 minutes at 200 degrees Celsius. Now let's just talk about tortillas. A really good swap that is more delicious and definitely much more nutritious is to go from the white tortilla to the wholemeal tortilla. 2 or 3 times more fiber, but also more flavor. So I'll show you how to prep the tortillas a little bit later. But first up, what I want to do is show you a technique of cooking the beautiful sweet corn. So you can do these on a barbecue, lovely, and you'll get that smokiness. But another way to kind of get a similar char is to go into a pan, dry, and just char it and turn it around. So we're gonna cook this for like 10, 12 minutes on a medium-high heat. You can see that charring that you get, really nice. Just keep rotating that corn, and once it's all charred up like that, it's gonna be amazing. So the chicken's had its time, the corn is getting nice and charred up. Let's talk about the crunchy bits, salad. So you can have fun with any salad you've got, but I've got the humble gem lettuce here. You can just have kind of big chunks if you want, or you can finely slice it, just so it's nice and delicate and really fine. So we've got our salad bit here. We could take this corn on the cob and just have it whole, as we always do, or you can take it whole and just half it. Be careful though, cut it in half. But what my ones love is when you take it off of the corn and you just put it on the fat bit like that. Take a knife, don't put pressure on it, and just run it gently down the corn like that. And you can see how hot and steamy that is. So look, that'll go over there. Now next up, with the tortilla, we just want to warm them through. Literally on one side, actually. Get yourself a nice little clean tea towel and just place it here like that. I don't want to get them crispy, I just want to reheat them. So 2 at a time. Every time you put the tortillas in, just wrap them up like this, okay? So that'll keep it nice and warm and steamy, but most importantly, flexible, so you can wrap it up and it will be gorgeous. So look, the last 2 done in your little tea towel here. And then here, the Traybake. And the thing that I love about Traybakes is that everything cooking together. The smokiness, the sweetness, I can smell it all. It's really beautiful. So what we want to do is get 2 forks and then basically just pull apart that chicken. Can you see how tender that is? The sweetness from the tomatoes and the onions with that spice of the smoked paprika, which is such a great seasoning to have in your home. Get all the sticky bits from around the edge of the tray, and you can serve this in the middle of the table. So it's like beautiful, organized chaos. Now, the only thing I love to do is just have a little bit of yogurt, a nice little pinch maybe of the smoked paprika, just to kind of give it a little bit of a vibe. An optional extra as well, lemon or lime, and that's it. Easy to put together, easy to cook, and then easy to serve, and it's a real crowd pleaser. For kids or adults, it's happy days. I love just to kind of line up those sweet onions first. The gorgeous crushed tomato and chicken, look at that. A sprinkle of the beautiful sweet corn and a little bit of that crunchy lettuce, and just that kind of nice refreshment of a little bit of yogurt if you wish, and if you want, a squeeze of lime. Roll it up. What I love about that is it's fun, but the juiciness and the depth of flavour from the Traybake is phenomenal. So guys, come on, have a little cook up. You won't regret it. Enjoy. This one is undeniable. This is my 15-minute tuna pasta. It's so good, so quick, you're gonna love it. So look, the recipes are celebrating loads of the good stuff, right? Beautiful cherry tomatoes, look at that. We've got the red peppers, we've got chili, we've got garlic, we're gonna use cucumber and basil. It's gonna be so fresh and so good. So first up, let's get the pasta in. So in a pan of boiling water, 300 grams of the seashells. What I love about them, of course, is their little cups. And you can fill them up with beautiful things. So this sauce is just gonna sit in there beautifully. So the pasta is cooking away. That'll take about 10, 12 minutes, and this sauce will be even quicker. So we've got here some nice cherry tomatoes. Look at these, on the vine, they're always really tasty. So I want 400 grams of tomatoes. So I'll just save these back, and then I'll just click these off the vine. What else goes into it? Cucumber. So I'm just gonna take half a cucumber, have a little peel. So cucumber goes in. Then I'm gonna use half a clove of garlic. Then basil, a nice little bunch of basil. I wanna do two things. I wanna pick, first of all, the little pretty leaves for garnish for later, and then the big leaves can go down here. So big leaves, small leaves. Right, the big leaves go straight into here, like that. You can push it in. And then we've got a pepper here. Peppers or capsicums, they're absolutely delicious. So I'm just gonna peel off that kind of chunky side and just tear the peppers into here, like that. If you want to use a chili, then like half a chili for a little bit of heat, delicious. And then one last bit of flavor, one little kiss of sunshine, sun-dried tomatoes, right? Now look, you can get these everywhere. Search yourself out a little jar. You want 5 or 6 little sun-dried tomatoes there. And what I'm gonna do is just pop that in there. You're gonna get an amazing flavor from that. Really, really good. And then I'm gonna give it a swig of lovely vinegar. Red or white wine vinegar, or sherry if you've got it. Lid goes on, and then you just whiz it up. So easy. So a little bit noisy, but it's gonna be pretty tasty. Giving it a little waz till it's nice and smooth, gives you this texture, like this. And then, actually, not olive oil. Let's use some of this sun-dried tomato oil. Just a little kiss like that. Beautiful. So look, that's all you have to do. The pasta is now done. It's quite good to undercook your pasta when you're making it for salads, right? Because you don't want really soft, fluffy pasta. You want it to sort of hold its shape. Back into the pan. And then if you come and have a look at this, whilst the pasta is nice and hot, right? That's the perfect time to flavor it. And this is just full of goodness. Absolute gorgeousness. So in we go with that amazing, uncooked, summery, gorgeous sauce. So all of that goes in, and then just stir it through. Now the nice thing about this is that the residual heat of the pasta has now heated the sauce up, right? So you can serve this hot now, beautiful for spring, summertime, or let it cool down and the flavor will get better and better, and serve it as a cold salad pasta. Delicious. So let me show you how to finish it. So get it into your Tupperware or a nice bowl like this. So just pour the pasta in like that. That pasta will absorb most of that sauce, I'm telling you. I've got some feta cheese, some tuna. So even though it's an Italian pasta, of course, the inspiration did come from that brilliant Spanish soup, gazpacho. So I've got a little feta, beautiful for color, beautiful for seasoning, really fresh. I've got a nice little tin here of tuna. And again, we can take this tuna and we can just flake it over the top. Then what I want to do now is just dress this lovely pasta salad. This already tastes amazing, but I just want to sort of give it a flourish. So I've sliced little quarters of my tomatoes. I'll take a nice little chunk of feta cheese, which again is so fresh and salty and it looks beautiful. So I'll get that ready. I'll take the tuna and just kind of spoon over nice little chunks of it in and around the pasta, like that. Then over the top with some cherry tomatoes, some basil, and we'll take that feta and sprinkle it from a height. Maybe a final little kiss of olive oil. Just brilliant. Right, let's have a taste. get a bit of everything. A bit of basil. What I love about that is kind of an old-fashioned flavour. Tuna, tomatoes, pasta. Really, really nice little dish. I'm going to show you how to make the most delicious, straightforward pasta bake with sweet leeks, tomatoes, basil, parmesan, and the most amazing garlicky crumb. We're going to do a big batch of it. You could either feed loads of people, or you could portion it off, put it in the fridge or the freezer for meals for another day, but also a hack of turning this, the everyday pre-bought garlic bread, into a thing of joy, the most amazing garlic bread crumb. So let's start off with that. First up, get yourself a liquidizer. We're going to use this for the crumb and for the sauce. So I'm going to cut this into half. Just rip up half your garlic bread into here, give it a little waz. So that simple little trick takes your beautiful garlic bread into a fine breadcrumb. So let's do the second one. Really, really nice. So, we've got the lovely crumb here. I'll put that to one side. Let's get on with the pasta sauce. So we're going to start it off with some olive oil in a pan. A couple of tablespoons goes in. And then the beginning of the story is going to be some garlic. 2 cloves of garlic. We'll just slice this up like that. So, medium heat. Let's get that frying. I'll take a little bit of this basil now. I'll give you another little tip, actually. If you pick any herbs, especially if they look a little bit sad, put it in the water, they'll refresh and come back to life. And then these stalks here, you don't have to throw these away. Just finely slice them. They're still full of flavour. And we'll get them in with the garlic. Now let's talk about oregano. I've got the regular stuff here that you'll see. Just a little teaspoon I can put in my hand and then put into the oil like that. Then here, I've got some posh oregano. It's not really posh. It looks posh. It's just unprocessed. I always think it's quite nice to get this, if you can, a little bit more fragrant. So you can see it's just gently frying. It smells really fragrant. I've taken it off the heat because I don't want to burn the garlic. Really important to not burn garlic. So look, we've got the leek. So what I tend to do to clean it is just take the end off there, run my knife just down the leek like this, pull off that outside leaf, and then I'm going to kind of treat it like it's almost 2 different vegetables. So I'll simply cut this in half. I'll save this green part for a soup or a stew that I'm going to do this week. Really, really nice. Nothing will go to waste. And this lovely white part here, I'm going to put into this pasta dish. Now, when leeks grow, they always come out the ground, obviously, and they pick up a little bit of mud, dirt, grit, stuff like that. So let me show you. This is the stalk end. And what I'm going to do is cut it in half lengthwise, like that. And then what you want to do is wash it under the tap away from the stalk. Just a quick little wash. Also, what's nice about giving it a quick little wash is that excess little bit of water creates a little steam that then creates a little more sort of sweetness and softness. So in we go with the leek. I'll give it a little season with salt and pepper, just to start the seasoning story. And that's going to be on a medium heat now. If you just kind of like slow cook that for 10 minutes, it really kind of concentrates the sweetness. It's utterly delicious. So while that does its thing, I'm going to put some pasta into my pan of water. So 500 grams of, frankly, any pasta you like. So when I'm cooking pasta for a pasta bake, I always undercook it. So the pack says 12 minutes, so I'm going to give this 8 minutes. Then I'll show you what to do next. So these leeks have had 10 minutes. The pasta's cooked, drained and refreshed. Now to carry this sauce is a really beautiful old friend, tomatoes. We're going to go in with 3 tins of beautiful tinned tomatoes, and then I'll clean these tins out with some water just to clean out the tin, use every last bit. Bring this to the boil, let it simmer for 15 minutes, and then you could serve the sauce chunky and rustic, but I'm going to liquidize it until it's silky smooth. So look, that's had sort of 10-15 minutes. Look at that, just blipping away. Have a little taste. Oh, gorgeous. This is your opportunity to adjust a little seasoning if you need it. If you want to make it a little hotter with black pepper, of course. If you wanted to hit it with chili, you can. I'm going to whiz it up now. I'm going to put most of it in there. So whiz it up. Whenever you're using hot things and liquidizers, put the lid on for sure and put a tea towel on top. I have decorated myself and the room so many times. Having a little look at that. If you want to put some herbs in here now, you can. If you want to put a little cheese in here now, you know, just a little bit, you can. Nice. I think having a liquidizer or a hand blender is a genuinely useful gadget. So in we go with the sauce. You can see the colour change now from the deep red to the almost orange. Sunshine, look at that. Just beautiful. Basically, we're done. We'll go in with the lovely pasta. Look at that. Have a little taste. Oh, delicious. I'm going to do a little layer of Parmesan, about 50 grams, just to kind of create a little kind of gooiness when you put your spoon into it. It's going to be delicious. Beautiful. And I'm actually going to hijack this a little bit with a nice little hack. It's a great vegetable that I love. It sits in the freezer. It's super convenient. Frozen spinach. Why would I use frozen spinach? It's super convenient. It comes in these little portion, sort of normally 80-gram pellets. Just going to take 8 of these pellets and put it in and around this pan like that. And I think that spinach works really well with these flavors. So look, beautiful colors. Very excited about that. I'm now just going to finish it with that beautiful garlic breadcrumb. I'm going to take half of it and sprinkle a nice fat layer on top, right to the edges. And that will just cook up really, really nicely. What you can do with the rest of this is get like some of these little freezer bags, and I promise you this will be the handiest thing to have in the freezer. So the next time you roast a piece of fish, right, sprinkle that on top in the oven, crunchy, beautiful. You know, the next time you want to take an everyday salad and make it like exciting, just put that in a pan, get it golden, little golden sort of tiny croutons, crunch, deliciousness. So this is a brilliant thing to have. Next time you make a lasagna, sprinkle that on top. It's the gift that keeps on giving. And no waste. So this now goes in the oven for about 20 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius. When it's golden, when it's blipping away, when it looks like you want to eat it, it's ready. While that's cooking, please click the like button and give us some love. And don't forget to subscribe. Oh, and remember to turn on that notification bell so you know what's happening. Now, back to the recipe. So I know it's ready because I can smell it. The room smells so good. Those amazing garlicky breadcrumbs. So here it is. The beautiful pasta bake. Look at that. It's just beautiful. Let it sit for a little bit. What I would normally do is just put some of these lovely basil leaves over the top. They're in really good condition now they've been in the water. Look at that. It smells incredible. Now for me, I always love having it with a lovely simple salad. So I've got a nice little salad here. I'll just finish that with a little olive oil, little squeeze of lemon juice, and that is an incredible lunch. That's an incredible dinner. Look at that. I just love it. Yes. So look, let's serve up. Let's get a nice piece of that spinach. Beautiful. Really lovely. Look at that. Little parmesan over the top. Right, let's have a little try. It's amazing colour. It's so good. That, my friends, is a brilliant principle recipe. Take that, run with it. Put it into your family. Honestly, they're gonna love it. So look, if you want more recipes from me, you know, more batch cooking recipes, more recipes that sort of hero veggies, simply go to jamieoliver.com and have a little search around. It's all free, and I hope you enjoy it.
So I want to share with you the most delicious meal that is so good if you're busy and you want big flavour. This is Traybake chicken with Thai red curry paste, squash. We're going to roast it off with coconut milk, with beautiful jasmine rice, and then a quick cucumber pickle. So first up, squash. If you've never cooked this before, right, pick it up, buy it. It's delicious, it's really nutritious, and when you roast them in the oven, they're so, so good. Get yourself a big knife, take the end off, right, and get the tip of the knife in the middle. Don't put too much weight into it, and just cut and rock down the length of the squash, okay? We're gonna put it onto its flat side and then just get it into a quarter. Remove those seeds, just use a little spoon, cut it into nice chunks, 2-3 centimetre chunks, and then just throw it into your tray. When we roast, it gets delicious. It's like an amazing roast potato. It makes you feel really good and comforted. And of course, when you add spice, come on, get 1 heaped tablespoon Thai red curry paste. But look, the great thing about these pastes is it's done all the hard work for you. With the chicken, right, a nice little swap out is to go from the skin chicken thighs to the skinless chicken thighs. We're gonna get that in the tray, a little bit of seasoning while we're here, and just toss it all up so the flavors are coated. It's gonna be intense, it's gonna be delicious, and it's easy. And then we'll cook it in the oven for an hour at 200 degrees Celsius or 400 Fahrenheit, and it's gonna be amazing. Okay, so the hour is up. Have a little look at this, guys. Oh, beautiful. Now, a nice, healthier swap is to go from the regular coconut milk to the coconut milk light. It's literally about half the saturated fats. So I'm just gonna give it a nice little mix. Take a bunch of spring onions and finely slice. And that, in with the squash, is beautiful. I'm gonna take half a bunch of coriander, stalks and all. Finely slice the stalks. As you get to the leaves, you can kind of chunk it up if you want. And we'll sprinkle that in as well. Final little toss up. Guys, look at that. A really nice little dinner, full of colour, full of flavour. The house is gonna smell incredible. Pop this back in the oven for about 10 minutes while I do the rice. Rice goes in. Jasmine gives off a kind of nice stickiness. Boiling water, pinch of salt. Put that on a high heat for around 10-12 minutes. Right, we're gonna make a pickle. Grab your humble cucumber. Oh yes. Just scratch it down the length, slice it up, big bits, small bits. There's a nice pinch of salt and give it a little toss. Lime, put your weight onto it and roll it, and it will get the natural oils going. Get grater, so the zest goes in. Squeeze it. It's almost gonna like pickle the cucumber. Last but not least, coriander, finely sliced. We're gonna toss that through the cucumber, and that's the simplest, tastiest little pickle. So good. Lovely. And a nice little way to get the veg up is to celebrate some greens. I'm using these sugar snap peas. And you can put them in whole, delicious, or you can slice up. So, everything done, just have a look at that. Sumptuous, gorgeous smelling loveliness. I'm just gonna take these sugar snaps and I'm just gonna sprinkle them over the top, fold it in the residual heat, which is gonna be enough in my opinion. All right, look at the colors. Absolute heaven in a nutshell. So good. And then the rice, a few bits of coriander, and I've still got 1 little lime if you want to do a little wedge. 6 people are going to smash that and be very, very happy. The squash becomes so amazingly delicious. Oh, juices galore. And a little bit of that cucumber pickle. Come on. All we got to do now is try some. So good. Really gentle, really subtle, really fragrant, definitely comfort food. That's a lovely, nutritious, healthy little dinner. Enjoy.
I'm going to share with you the most delicious homemade falafel recipe. It's quick, it's easy, it's full of flavour and texture. And to go with that, I'm going to give you a whole bunch of different sauces, pickles and garnishes that make it exceptional. But most importantly, you can use each and every one of these recipes in so many different ways in your own cooking. So, let's get going. Let's start off with a food processor. I've got 2 tins of chickpeas. Open the tin and we're going to get rid of the water like that in a sink. So go in with your drained chickpeas. Then plain flour, 1 tablespoon. Harissa paste, 1 tablespoon goes in. 1 teaspoon of allspice. A generous pinch of salt and pepper goes in. So I've got 1 regular bunch of coriander here. I'm going to take the stalks that a lot of people waste. We ain't wasting them, right? They've been washed, they go in. That's gonna give it a sweetness and a beautiful perfume. I've got a nice lemon that I've washed and just give the skin, just the yellow part, a little rub like that. And I want these falafels to be like light, but full of attitude. So lid on, give it a little pulse. Get a little spatula and go around the rim. You can see that ball going around the side now, so it's telling you that it's actually a really good kind of patty-like consistency. This ball here, I'll roll into about 16 little patties. So I want to get them golden and crisp, and I want to bring out the flavour in all those spices. Falafels are an ultimate, really nutritious and really affordable street food. Roughly chop these into 16-ish, roughly the same size patties. If you get a little bowl of water, they help keep the patties or meatballs nice and smooth instead of kind of breaking. So just wet your hands like this, like that, and then we'll just roll it into a nice little patty like that and just press it down about 2 inches in diameter. I'm going to put it onto a medium heat, and I want a nice lug of olive oil, and I'll lay that falafel straight into there like that. Bit of water. So roll it first, pat it next. It's as simple as that. Roll it, pat it, lay it. We'll keep them small so we can manage this. You'll make filling for 4 generous pitters. So while those falafels cook for about 3 minutes on each side, I've got them on a medium-low heat. I'm not rushing them. I want to show you different expressions of dips, garnishes, and sauces. First up, beautiful organic yogurt. I'm going to take this other half of the coriander and just finely chop it. You could use a pestle and mortar if you want. Beautiful. So I'll take a bit of garlic. I'll go back to this grater here, and I'll just grate half a garlic, like that. And that will be more than enough to make it pungent and delicious. We'll take a little pepper here. We'll take the coriander and the garlic here. The lemon that I took the zest from. So what I don't want this to be is boring. Okay, so first sauce is done. So I've got a standard red cabbage, white cabbage, it doesn't matter. I'll use a little speed peeler, and you'll just get the most wonderful pickle of red cabbage. Lovely antioxidants, super healthy, but most importantly, utterly delicious. Pinch of sea salt, red wine vinegar, white wine vinegar. Get a little splurge of that in there. Just use your hand. So scrunch, scrunch. I'm going to take a nice little handful there. Joy, joy, joy. All right? Let's check this. Just going to make sure we're taking care of things. Now, look, this is looking pretty good. Look at this. Beautiful. Yes. Smells amazing. Here's a quickie, and it's a funny, fruity little number. Tahini. A nice couple of spoons goes in. I'll show you a little funky, crazy thing. If I put lemon juice in that to make a little tahini sauce, delicious, by the way, it affects the tahini and makes it go super hard. It's getting thicker and thicker and thicker. So from a flavour point of view, delicious, especially with a little pinch of salt, right, to convince it that it's savoury. If it goes too thick, just add a little bit of hot water, and you can thin it down until it's nice and spoonable, and that's what we want. And if you want to give that a little hit of chili, you can. Tahini sauce, done. A really quick little number that I love is taking some chilies and just finely slicing them, and a little swig of vinegar and a little salt. Chilies go in. What I'm thinking here is texture, flavour, like sprinkles, garnishes. So last but not least, I want to show you a very quick cucumber and mint salad. Use any cucumbers you can get your hands on. These are the lovely small ones, which I love. Get a fork and scratch that cucumber like that. This allows seasoning and dressings to get in there. And all I do is put the 3 cucumbers together, slice it up, mix it up into your bowl, and then I just grab the stalks like that, twist it off, just the leaves, finely slice this, and I'll just dress it like a salad. I'll leave it quite chunky. Vinegar, but then the same amount of olive oil, so it's dressed but still tangy. Use the tips of your finger to dress this salad. So look, let's have a quick wipe down and these will be ready. So in the 6 minutes it's taken to cook these lovely falafels, right? We've done beautiful, simple salads, sauces, pickles, little garnishes, sprinkles. Love that. One last thing that you can do if you've got a gas hob is just reheat your pittas. You can put them in the toaster, you can put them in the oven, you can have it cold, but I quite like putting them onto a little gas hob like this. Just take care of it, get a little set of tongs like this, and just have a little eye on it like that, turn it over, and we'll just toast them up. Get them nice and warm, fluffy on the inside, and a little bit sort of crispy on the outside. Okay, so pittas are toasted, falafels are done. Come and have a look. Look how lovely and sizzly they are. Gorgeous. Okay, let's do one. So I'm gonna get the knife in, open up the lovely pitta. You can fully open it. I'm gonna go in first with that lovely yogurt with the mint. We're gonna go in with a few cucumbers in and around the edge. I'm trying to create like the perfect mouthful. And then a little bit of that lovely pickle. Look at the colours. Yes! Look at that. There's one. Sizzling away. And then another, mate. Then we'll take that lovely sauce. Come on, Eileen, look at that. Just go OTT. We've got the mint leaves here. Be bold, be big. The chilies. And you've got that nice hot pitta. Little bit of oil on top. And then straight on top. Look, I mean, just look at that. That is a picture. Put this on top, and then you put the weight of your body on it. Push it down. I might just cut it in half, just so you can see what's going on in this story. That's what's going on. Gorgeous, decadent. That is full of flavour, full of life, full of nutrition. So guys, if you want the full recipe, and all the shopping lists, simply go to jamieoliver.com where we've got thousands and thousands of recipes and we're always updating it for free with love from me to you. Take care. I'm going to show you how to make a delicious sausage and squash chili con carne. Really simple to make, luscious to eat. The kids love it. You can do a big old batch of it as well. And it's perfect for when the weather starts closing in and it's getting colder. Great for things like bonfire night, parties. It's going to be a beautiful thing. I've got the oven on. I've got a pan on here, a nice little casserole pan. So first up, get a nice squash. Now, the skin actually is very delicious, but what I love about peeling it is it kind of allows the squash to soak up all those beautiful flavors. So once you've peeled it, just take the end off the squash. Remember the squash is round, so obviously be careful when you're cutting it. And when it comes into slicing it like that, just like keep your hands out of the way and just gently angle it down like that. Don't put your weight on too much, nothing kind of erratic. Then we've got these little seeds here. So I'm gonna grab a little spoon and we can remove these seeds. Now these seeds you can save, you can dry, and you can plant out next year to grow more pumpkin, which is very, very cool. So I'm using a butternut squash. You can use any squash or dense pumpkin that you like. Just slice it into little kind of sort of 1.5, 2 centimetre chunks. So I've got the butternut squash done, then it's the sausages, look at that. 400 grams of beautiful sausages. Now what I wanna do is just add a little bit of oil and I wanna fry off these sausages. I wanna pull them out into little meatballs. Gonna get the sausage like that, pinch it with your hand like that, and it comes out like a rustic little ball. Very, very simple, straight in like that. The better the sausages, the better this dish will be. As soon as we got a little bit of colour happening here, what we can do is add some nice fragrant things, right? We want to get some spice happening. So half a little cinnamon stick like this, just snap it. That'll go in, that'll start toasting up in all that frying fat. I'll season generously with black pepper, which I like. Then I'm going to use 2 little spice hacks here. One is smoked paprika. The smoked paprika gives you that beautiful smoky flavour, like it's been cooked over a fire. Then I'm using a little Cajun spice. Now, these little kind of Cajun spices, jerk spices, rasa al hanout, curry powders, these are quite genius, right? Because they're little blends. So there's about like 8 or 10 spices in here. Oreganos, all the peppers, you know, garlic and onion powder. So I'm gonna put 2 of these heaped teaspoons in. It's just delicious. It's gonna give it real length, a really nice savory spice that I absolutely love. Just toast that onto those lovely sausage meatballs. Look at that. That's properly rustic. And then I'm gonna just highlight a little product that I kind of rate. You can use onion, carrot, and celery. So the Italians will call that a sofrito. And this is a frozen product. So if you go to the supermarket, you get bags of frozen carrots, celery, onions. It's just a nice little hack. I really like supporting the frozen veg. I think it's genius. It's brilliant for like just taking handfuls, 2 handfuls, not wasting stuff. I think for busy people that want to cook lovely food, these little cheats are amazing. You know, it's not just about frozen peas. I want to use like 2 or 3 cloves of garlic. That's how you're going to get that really deep, comforting flavour. Nice little trick, actually. Using balsamic vinegar, a couple of tablespoons, right? If you think about the sweetness in the veg that we're dragging out, this will give it a nice little kind of tang, and it'll give it the most delicious depth of flavour and a gorgeous colour. Look at that. What I love about this dish is it's a family favourite. Everyone loves it. Like, you're using sausages, cheap as chips, you know, go for the best ones you can get. We're getting loads and loads of veggies into this dish. And also, it's like an amazing excuse to get more beans in, right? Because we expect to have beans in a chili con carne. So any beans you like, white beans, cannellini beans, veloute beans, butter beans, black-eyed peas, kidney beans, even chickpeas. So I'm going to use a little bit of rosemary in here. Rosemary's a great herb, really good with butternut squash, sausage. It's a lovely savoury herb, so easy to grow. So just a couple of sprigs, just finely chop that. What I love about making casseroles, chili con carnes like this, is it's got a really nice flow. You add the sausage, you add the spices, you add the garlic and the veg, you know, it just gets more and more interesting as time goes on. Look at the colours, the orange and the green, and all the kind of gnarly bits of sausage. Absolutely beautiful. Now we go in with the wet stuff in the form of lovely tinned tomatoes and some lovely kidney beans. Use any beans you want. I'm using kidney and black beans. Go in juice and all. That little liquid is perfect for creating an amazing sauce. Then some lovely tomatoes. Gonna make it sweet and delicious. And look, if you wanted to do a veggie version of this or a vegan version of this, that's fine. Just pull out the meat. And I would sort of suggest using some fresh and dried mushrooms to get that umami, that depth of flavour. Just let it come to the boil. Give it a little season with salt and then pop it into the oven. Now, what's nice about popping it in the oven is it will continue to simmer and cook, so essentially stew, but from the top it's going to bake or roast. So we call that braising, right? That means you're going to get colour on here. You're going to get reduction of liquid, but concentration of flavour. It's going to be amazing. So I'm very happy with that. Let's get that in the oven now. Normal oven, 180 degrees Celsius, 350 Fahrenheit, and then I'll show you what to do next. While that's cooking, please click the like button and give us some love, and don't forget to subscribe. Oh, and remember to turn on that notification bell so you know what's happening. Now, back to the recipe. So it's had an hour and a half, and it's just been blipping away. Have a little look at that. I mean, it's a real picture. So you can see how it's reduced down. Oh, it looks so comforting. So I want to give you a little tip on extra deliciousness, okay? It's a good one. Potato masher. So if you just go to one little side of the pan, just mash one side. Right, so what's that doing? This is breaking up some of the sausage, some of the beans, and some of that lovely butternut squash. Right, so just do it to about a third of this pan. And what does it do? It gives you a creaminess, and it gives you a real smash of deliciousness and sort of unctuous flavour. So once we've finished doing that, we fold it through with all the chunks again. So that, I believe, is how you get really incredible texture. And, oh, it smells amazing. It smells amazing. This is when we have a little try. Oh, that was so good. A little extra virgin olive oil, not as an oil, but as a kind of ingredient, right? And you get that lovely, grassy, fresh flavour, and it gives it the most wonderful sheen. And on the floor is my little dog, Conker. He's got very wet. He's chilling out, but he's very excited about this sausage chili con carne. A little bit of balsamic. I know we put some in already, but that's cooked away. But just a little thimble of vinegar, any vinegar, can often lift a ragu. That's beautiful. I'm gonna pop that back in the oven just for a little bit while I do the rice. We're gonna go in with some rice. That same mug, like a typical kind of cup of tea mug. I'm gonna fill this up twice. If you wanted to add some nice flavour, you know, you could take a little mixture of herbs, right, and just put that in there as well and get a lovely, lovely sort of fragrance and flavour to it. So this goes in and we'll boil that for 12 minutes. By that time, everything's gonna be perfect. Let's get some nice serving bowls. What shall I do it in? Let's do it in that one. Looks really lovely. Let's have a little look at this rice. It's had about 12 minutes. It goes from boiling and then that noise stops. And that's when you normally know it's just lightly frying. So that's a good sign. So then we can take out the herb. That's the brilliant thing about herb, man. They've done their job. And just use a fork or a spoon or something just to fluff it up. Can you see how light and fluffy that is? Every time, a winner. So I like that method. Smells amazing. Let's just portion up a little bit. I love rice. You can see the little flecks of herb in there. Let's get our lovely chili out. Look at these beautiful chunks. So, chili con carne, but not as you know it. And then for me, just a lovely little bit of yogurt in there. Some pepper and just a little olive oil. You can finish that with a little soft herb like coriander if you want. For me, that is beautiful comfort food for this time of year when the weather's closing in. You get epic flavour in there and texture. It's delicious. Sausage chili con carne. Super simple. Like, get it all going. You can double the recipe, you can triple it. It's not like spicy chili spicy. Like, my little 7-year-old would have no trouble with that at all. It's very mild, it's very layered. There's lots of nice little surprises, but perfect for this time of year when things get a little bit miserable. But this is delicious. Hey guys, hope you're well. So this recipe you're gonna love. It's a beautiful smoky veggie chili with salsa, homemade flatbreads. It's really comforting to eat. You get 4 of your 5 fruit and veg a day in one dish. Come on. What you need is a large non-stick casserole style pan on a high heat. We've got about 3 or 4 beautiful sweet potatoes. I want 1 kilo of fresh tomatoes, a bunch of spring onions, like that. And then one of the heroes of the veggie world, sweet corn. Get your 2 corn, put it in your hot, dry pan, turn it like every minute, and then after about 5 or 6 minutes, it will be lightly golden all over, and that's what we want. At the same time, get your spring onions, just take that funky little wafty end off, and these can go straight into the hot pan as well. We're also gonna put in 4 cloves of garlic. So I've peeled this garlic here. The sweet potato here, we'll just slice up into little kind of 2-centimetre chunks. Okay, so the sweet corn needs a little bit more time. The actual spring onions, they're done. I'm gonna take the white parts of the spring onion off and put it here, and that's gonna be in our salsa. Green part is gonna go in a liquidizer. If we look in the pan here, can you see these lovely garlic cloves? They go in the liquidizer as well. So next up, we'll just get this sweet potato in here. I'm gonna put about 800 grams of tomatoes. I'm gonna put like 2 or 3 of those tomatoes over there. The rest of the tomatoes just cut in half and we're gonna put in the liquidizer. So 2 tins of black beans. We're gonna put 1 tin, juice and all, into this liquidizer. Also, I'm gonna use a spice. So I've settled on a beautiful Cajun seasoning. 2 heaped teaspoons. Right, let's blend it up. So, in literally seconds, you get all those ingredients turn into the most amazing sauce. So let's take the sweet corn out. That's gonna go onto our salsa board over here. Now what we can do is go in with the last 2 things. We've got this sauce straight in. The flavor is gonna be amazing. And then in with the rest of the black beans and the juice. So you've got nice whole beans in there. So now what we have to do is turn down this heat, let it simmer away for about half an hour, 20 minutes until the sweet potato is tender. So as that does its thing, I'm gonna show you how to make beautiful homemade flatbreads. So here, I've got 150 grams of self-raising flour. What I wanna do is add to this a good pinch of salt and then 80 milliliters of water. That goes in. I tend to use a fork and just angle the bowl and mix it around, and then we can start using our hands As soon as it's cleaned the bowl, then just give it a little knead. For about a minute, you don't have to do sort of too much. Cut it roughly into 4, right? There's your 4 balls, and I tend to just put my hand on it, push down, and roll it around, and you just make a little ball like that. So roll these into 4 lovely balls, let them rest now for a couple of minutes while we turn this veg into an amazing salsa. First job, I'm gonna take the beautiful charred sweet corn, and then I'm just gonna get my knife and just carefully hold it and run the knife down the sweet corn. Do that to the second one. Then we can push that to one side. We can go in with the beautiful spring onions. So that goes into the bowl as well. And then the tomatoes, I'll cut in half like this. See where the little core is here? Just cut that out. Then just squeeze the juice of the tomatoes away. Just like roughly slice it up, and then the tomatoes go in. Salt and pepper is really helpful in this story, but also vinegar. So mix it up. So salsa done. So look, I'm gonna put the lid on the chili now, and then I'm gonna get a pan on full whack, okay? It couldn't be easier to turn those balls into a lovely flatbread. Put a little bit of flour on the bottom, a little bit on top, press your balls down, and then get yourself a rolling pin and just roll it out and go as thin as you can, using the flour as you go. You can see how thin and fine that is. But then what's really important is to keep them warm. So get yourself a clean tea towel, just lay that out here, and every time you do a flatbread, you can cover it up. Happy days. Straight into the pan. Pretty much straight away, you should start to see the self-raising flour kick into action and the little bubbles come up. So see how this is soft and spongy, and this is charred and toasty. I like that. Right, so straight into here, cover it up. So third one down, last one, in we go, and then we're ready to serve. Okay, so time to serve up now. Get yourself a nice, generous serving of the sweet potatoes, the beans. We'll take that salsa, and on top we go. We've got the flatbread here, so we take that and we can kind of tear it up, literally shove it in the side. Let's just take a little bit of coriander, a little bit of yogurt to kind of contrast it. That's an optional as well. I mean, it was a vegan dish, now it's a vegetarian dish, but you can kind of get vegan yogurts and stuff like that. Let's get amongst it. I love just tearing up our homemade flatbreads. Oh, come on. That is delicious.